Lotus Squad, welcome back to Lotus Tarot TV 444. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the squad and welcome to the stream. This is going to be a live collective tarot reading where I channel messages from my spirit guides for all zodiac signs. Now, seeing as how it's 420, I just wanted to start the stream off the right way. Everybody be sure to mash that like button for manifestation of our goals and dreams into reality. Okay, everybody mash that like button and be sure to remember, before I forget, be sure to check the description box as well as the comments below from here on out for the link to my new Etsy shop. Now, this shop, I will be adding other spiritual related items to this as I go. So guys, just be patient with me. You know, pretty soon I'll start having more metaphysical crystals and stones, jewelry, things of that nature. So with that out of the way, I just want to say thank you before I get into the messages to all of the people that have hit that join button and become members of this channel. Thank you to everybody that has hit subscribe and that have donated, people that have bought private readings. You guys are amazing, and I just want you to know I appreciate your love and support. Hello, Edgar. Welcome to the stream. Now, there are some interesting energies going on, you guys, and I know how the majority of you love these story times, so just keep listening because I have a little mini story time for you guys. But I just want to say, and hello, Latasha, welcome to the squad. I just have to say that the way this day started was just on a good note. We woke up on the right side of the bed, and even if we didn't, somehow things just started to fall into place. And I noticed at some point throughout my day, I just happened to look at the clock. Thank you so much, Eva. You too. I happened to look at the clock at this time, and I noticed that it was 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. It was 12:34. So I want to share with you guys really quickly what the angel number for 1, 2, 3, 4 means for those of you that have been seeing it. 1, 2, 3, 4 means that things are finally falling into place for you. You're feeling the changes little by little, and you can truly say that there are improvements happening in your life. Now, guys, check this out, because this particular angel number actually coincides with the energy of today and what actually happened earlier that I'm going to tell you in this little mini story time. Now, give me a second, because you already know how I get with these story times, right? I just hit the ground running, so give me a second. And before I get into the story time, by the way, you guys, I hope all of you are doing well. I hope you guys are staying blessed, not stressed. Hey, Zoe, sweetie, happy to have you to join us today. And today I want to use the Starman Tarot, by the way, right? So we're going to use the Starman Tarot because I feel like there's an added layer to some of these messages that need to come through. But anyways, back into the messages at hand. And that's so funny, Danny. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about angel numbers. Like right now I'm seeing 911. I see that all the time on the clock. 1111 especially is just to awaken you to your intuitive abilities. And that's basically you're going through the gateway, you guys. 222 is all about regaining balance within yourself and making the decisions necessary to help you establish that inner and outer balance within your life. 333 is all about communication and creativity. And this is all about using healthy communication and using your creativity to help manifest your desires. And then we lead to 444. Lotus Tarot TV 444, right? 444 is confirmation that you are on the right spiritual path and that you should continue to focus on your goals and your dreams and just go for it. You're manifesting everything that you desire. Be careful of the things that you're thinking, because what you know, where your energy flows and where your focus flows, you know how that goes. You manifest that into your life. So, and thank you so much, Archer's Oracle. Thank you. Now, I wanted to get into the story time now because this is actually a beautiful situation. Let me put this to the side. So earlier today, I woke up and I just happened to, get a message from a good friend of mine right when I had some downtime, right? And so we had been missing each other a little bit. We'd been playing phone tag for a while. And so anyway, long story short with that, we finally got the chance to talk this morning. And it was so therapeutic and so intense but necessary, and I just have to share it with you all. So while we were talking earlier today, without getting into too much specifics, I just have to say that there's mutual friends that we know has been spreading, vicious gossip, spreading lies, trying to cause drama. And now that we were able to communicate, now that we were able to kind of, reach a middle ground and reach an understanding of each other and really kind of, put things into perspective to see, who the real issue is and who the real shit starter is. And that's so funny why I titled this The Blame Game, because it seems like the wrong people are getting blamed for shit that they either didn't do or that had nothing to do with them or whatever. And a lot of other people just don't want to hold themselves accountable. So that's where this whole drama, trying to talk shit about people behind their back and tell them they're right when they're wrong. So we got to a point where we were able to see eye to eye. And you know what should her story time name be? I'm gonna call her Cutie with the Booty. So Cutie with the Booty and shit, we're good now. Like before we finally figured out who was really causing the issue and we were able to get out how we really felt. I was able to help her with her situation and her dude. So the whole conversation that all three of us were having was actually really therapeutic and necessary. It definitely cleared the air. And it revealed not only everybody's true colors, but it revealed and exposed the deception and the Decepticon who has been spreading the deception. And the whole channeled message that I have continuously gotten since the last collective has been about forgiveness. And this is kind of what I'm talking about and touching on. We all got to a point to where we could put our differences aside or at least explain what's going on with us to reach a better understanding. That way, and having open, honest, vulnerable communication, no matter how messy that may look. Sometimes you're screaming and we all have a tendency to get caught up in our emotions and in the moment. But when we finally reach that place where we can just come from a place of logic and from a place of love, that's where we start to not only connect in a deeper way, but that's where change starts to happen. That's where transformation takes place. And that's where you can start seeing things such as this, where you're able to talk things out and find forgiveness. But there are still situations that I feel around us, of course, on the daily that we always have to work through. There's always going to be that aspect of, joy and pain, or pleasure and pain, and happiness and sadness. And we have to learn to stay grounded and stay centered in between these two extremes. Now, some people don't have said balance, and that comes through in their communication style. It comes through in a lot of different ways. Now, here's what I'm going to do here, you guys. Give me 1 second, because I don't know if you guys are saying something in the chart or in the chat. In the chart. I don't know if you guys are saying something in the chat, so let me see if it'll refresh. Hello, Pink Delish. I just saw your message, sweetie. Hope you're doing well. Now let's see if we can fix this here, you guys. Okay, that's fine. So guys, I'm sorry if I happen to miss your message. YouTube's kind of wonky right now, and it messes with the chat. So just bear with me, okay? I just feel like there's definitely that yin-yang aspect to our daily lives, like I was saying. And, there's going to be that push and pull, that tug of war, should I not? All of these different things that leave us in two minds and stuck on the fence about something here. Maybe we're just trying to figure out how we can move forward easier, what we need to do or what we need to say. Maybe some of us have been suppressing our emotions so much that we do it out of habit now. And when we suppress things, all it does is add more fuel to the fire within us of all of these unresolved resentments, bitterness, anger, frustrations, disappointments, and the list goes on. And when we don't stand up for what we believe in, when we don't stand up for what's right, when we don't stand up for even ourselves, just in general, you know, in an indirect and in an unintentional way, we are teaching people that it is okay, you know, to say and do whatever they've been doing and saying, and we'll just stay silent about it. We won't call them out. But now with this whole blame game that people are trying to play with people, that's gotten exposed. All the moles, right? All the little spies have been exposed. All the lies have been exposed. Everything is coming out slowly but surely. And it's up to us, regardless of the hand that we've been dealt in life, it's up to us to find ways to make our situation better, to make ourselves better, you know, and all of the above. A lot of us are identifying the people, places, and things that are doing nothing but wasting our time and resources. Now, although, you know, we can get wasted resources back, we can't get wasted time back. And that's really starting to hit us a lot different. We all want change. And of course, there's a lot of anger. Everybody is fed up. Everybody wants justice. And right now, quite literally, there's a war going on in the streets. There's a war going on within ourselves, within our spirit. There's a war going on within our hearts. There's a war going on within our minds. And with war comes carnage and loss and grief. With war comes PTSD, anxiety, depression. With war comes tears, bloodshed. Some of us are dealing with this quite literally for those that are rioting and looting and doing all these different things. Some of us are dealing with that in a figurative sense or more symbolic sense where it's more emotional in that aspect. And some of us need to learn, especially when it comes to emotions. Some of us may not know how to properly channel our emotions to be able to transmute those intense emotions of anger, intense emotions of sadness, disappointment, rage, and what have you. Some of us need to find other healthier ways to channel that. And some of us may be going about that in the wrong way due to that lack of clarity on how you can let out that aggression in a more constructive manner. But one thing that I notice, especially with that, is that anger, and this, you know, may resonate with all of you, some of you, or none of you. But in my own personal experience, and thank you so much for the likes, you guys, by the way. In my own personal experience, I've realized that my anger, although it can be chaotic and destructive, intense, scary, ugly, messy, it's still a resource. It's still something that I could use as fuel. Some of us are adding more fuel to the fire in more destructive ways, but now a lot of us are realizing that during this alchemical process of transmutation, we're able to transform from within and so without. Now, I'm seeing this Lovers reversed, and the Gemini energy is heavy. The twin energy is heavy. I don't know if y'all knew this, but our president is a Gemini, which I just had to laugh out loud, girl. I was like, really? Okay. There's a lot of double speaking, double-minded, greedy, oversexed, just carnal, self-obsessed energy here. We have to make a decision, because some of us may have quite literally found out we were the other woman or the other man, when we know damn well we didn't sign up for that, and we made that very clear for some of us from the jump. But there's somebody that is all about the self and what they can gain. They have a harem of women or a harem of men here, and it's just, it's obvious. There's no love in this situation. A lot of us have dealt with unrequited love in the past. Maybe we were vulnerable and naked and open and raw and real and uncut with other people, but other people would not give us the same, because they could not give us the same. They were self-obsessed. But now we're flipping that around, right? And I see the Six of Wands. I saw that Six of Wands. It's hiding now, but we're back to now flipping that right side up, right? So this is all about having the opportunity to break free from our mental prisons, break free from our comfort zones, and step into the unknown. We're starting to, for once in our lives, for some of us here, a lot of us have been met with crossroads, opening the doors, petitioning to open the doors, wanting love, wanting to manifest someone that is either, a twin flame, wanting to manifest this open and naked, not even just literally naked, but emotionally naked with each other. This is what we all need here, right? And earlier, a second ago, we saw it was reversed. We've dealt with a lot of self-obsessed, self-important, oversexed, me type of people. Home wrecker, cheating kind of energy. Have their cake and eat it too kind of energy. And now we're in a place where we're ready to be open and naked and vulnerable, but with the right people. And there are so many decisions we've had to make to be able to work towards finding that instead of just settling. Four of Swords. We're seeing the importance of self-love, self-care, a little R&R, getting adequate rest, meditation. All of these things are keeping us grounded and centered. All of the lessons that we've learned throughout our lives, we are taking that time to go inward, purge all of that unnecessary baggage, and integrate all of the lessons that we've learned, all of the lessons we've taken from the losses, and preparing ourselves for this new beginning. A lot of us are taking that time to get to know ourselves again. Some of us may be doing intermittent fasting. Maybe we've been looking into that, focusing more on trying to tap into our spiritual, our spiritual side. Some of us are finally starting to learn to enjoy not only our own company, but we're starting to learn to enjoy the silence. And that reminds me of a Depeche Mode song. Somebody likes Depeche Mode, or you may know somebody who does. But we're enjoying the silence here. And I love how I see this Queen of Swords coming out. This is absolutely perfect, right? So we're speaking up, right? They better put some respect on your MF name, girl. And I feel like we're calling people out on their BS when they need to be called out. We're standing firm. You know, we've done the research. We've read the book. We've played the game several times and checkmated every single time. We've been through hell and back multiple times. We've been there, done that with the cheaters, liars, and thieves. And we've had enough. So now we're just using our sword of truth and speaking up for what's right, speaking up for our, for ourselves, standing up for our rights, standing up for what's right as a whole. A lot of us are starting to tap into the esoteric knowledge that the universe has been bestowing upon us through psychic downloads, through light codes. And some of us, especially to those of you with air in your chart, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy coming up, Gemini, y'all know I gotta call it out, right? But this Queen of Swords energy, I'm loving it, because see the owl behind her. Not only is she equipped with the esoteric knowledge that surrounds us, the unseen, right? The unseen realms. She's aware of that. And she's also aware of the fact that you most certainly must not believe everything you hear and only half of what you see. She knows. Maybe she knows of certain religious texts or, certain documentation of history here where information has been taken out. The Holy Grail, so to speak. She's in tune to the esoteric knowledge to help her connect to what's missing here. A lot of us are receiving a lot of messages. Some of us could be receiving some packages here. Some of us may be getting our hair done, our nails done to the ladies. Yes, queen. A lot of us are starting to read up more on, maybe just finding healthier ways, to eat. Maybe you're thinking about changing your diet. A lot of you maybe have been studying birds or just studying nature around you. And while we're talking about owls, and I just happen to look to the side, of course, we have this butterfly here. And I've been seeing a lot of references to the butterfly as well. And so right now we are in the cocoon phase. This is the time for introspection and rest, reflection, and tuning in to listen to what spirit has to say to you. And once you're ready to emerge, you still have to have that period where your wings are finally breaking free, and they need that time to dry so that you can lift off and take flight with the wind beneath your wings. And I'm really seeing that metamorphosis is taking place in a lot of us right now. A lot of us are not only researching, some of us may want to go back to school. Maybe we're self-taught. Maybe we're just doing independent study here for some of us. But a lot of us are communicating, most of all. And we're communicating our truth, and we are aware. We have a bullshit-o-meter, a gaydar, we have all of the bells and whistles. But we're not going to stay silent anymore, especially when people are not showing respect, and especially when people are not valuing us. So we have a lot more decisions that we're being presented with, right? Now that this is turned upwards, we're in the middle, or maybe we are one of the people that somebody's in the middle of. Somebody has multiple choices, many different, suitors, love offers, a lot of options. And there are some people that are just more sex, more carnal, more passionate, rather than it is an emotional connection. So, FWBs and, chilling in the DMs and doing your thing, girl. I feel you, but I'm just saying, we have so many different paths that we could go down. And a lot of us are starting to narrow down the people that we don't need to be dealing with, the self-important people. Now, it's so funny because I was getting ready to segue into the card of the day today. And if you guys would like to check that out, you guys check me on Facebook at Mistress Lotus. And the card of the day today actually was the Ten of Pentacles. So everything is stable. We're building a firm foundation. A lot of us are, finding a new home. We're taking care of the family. We have the finances necessary to sustain our stability, even when we fall on hard times. A lot of us are focused on, getting a savings or a 401k and really starting to take, what you're gaining seriously here. A lot of us are realizing that we maybe have been spending so much money on things that really don't add value and don't make our money work for us, period. A lot of us are focused on creating multiple streams of income, especially with all of the stuff that happened with the Rona and all of that. A lot of us were forced quite literally to have to see what, whether we were going to sink or swim and use this opportunity to prop ourselves up, just like we certainly are here. Some of you guys could be drawn to bats. And it's so funny how I brought up the Rona, bats, ha ha, hee hee, or dragons. If you guys have been looking into spirit animals, maybe the dragon spirit animal, Google that and check out the meaning for that, because there could be some beautiful messages in that for you. But most of all, what I see, and I want to take a look at her for myself for a second. What I see here is a woman that is good on her own. A lot of us are starting to really take our health seriously. So not just our mental and emotional health, but also our physical health. Some of us could be going out in nature a lot more, maybe putting our bare feet into the dirt to get, grounded whenever we start to feel like we're getting moved around by all these external influences. I'm also seeing that we're really focused on having a more plant-based diet. Some of us could be going vegan or becoming a vegetarian, or if you're like me, I like to eat poultry, fish, and mostly vegetables. Maybe occasionally I'll have a burger or a steak, but I won't be eating it every day like I was, right? So maybe some of you could have decided I'm going to add more fruits and vegetables to my diet, a lot more focus on exercising, or at least going out and taking a walk, maybe going out in your garden, working out in your garden here. And I also see that to those of us that, I see some gold nuggets by her feet. I've never seen those before. Good God, some of us could be investing in gold, or maybe we have some gold bars or have been looking into that. And I'm also seeing some of us, we have a hawk perched on our arm here. You won't be able to see it on camera, but I can see her just fine here. And what I'm seeing, especially I've been seeing hawks a lot more lately in my area. Hawks are a great sign from God that you are spiritually ascending. You are within the ascension and the awakening process, and you are moving forward along your spiritual path and moving in the right direction within your journey here. And I see this ghost here, this poltergeist. Some of you guys may like ghost hunting. Maybe you guys like to watch that, or maybe you guys have quite literally been noticing that you're seeing little mists past pass out the corner of your eye. Maybe it's like a dark black one, or like a gray or like a white misty one that you're noticing for some of you. That may not be for all of you, but especially to those that have psychic abilities and intuitive abilities, medium abilities, things of that nature. Some of us are dealing with spirits. Some of us may be thinking we have a ghost in our home. So if so, y'all hit me up, mistresslotus777@gmail.com, if you ever need help with that as well. But I do see this energy is very strong. And I also get the feeling that this is more of a friendly ghost. And I feel like this is somebody that that may have passed on recently for some of us, maybe a family member here. And I feel like they're protecting us. I also feel like it's an angel here. So we have a lot of ancestors and angels that are watching over us while we are here accumulating wealth on our own. And a lot of us are enjoying our solitude, actually. As stated before, we're happy with our own company, and we're also not really splurging too much either. So it's a good balance of money coming in and money going out, right? But the bills are still paid, and some of you may quite literally be working towards putting money into a new home, putting a down payment for a car, and all of these things here. And I see a lot of abundance that we're manifesting. And like I said before about Jupiter retrograde, that right now, it's going to last until, I believe, August or September. And once it goes direct, since that is the planet of prosperity, abundance, and luck, that's going to catapult us into all of the things we could have ever asked for, and then some, even more than that for the majority of us here. And it's because we're being a lot more vulnerable. We're focusing on what we have rather than focusing on lack. See, this is somebody that has a great fashion sense. Maybe some of us are into that whole indie look, or maybe that whole long flowy skirt for the ladies out there that like things like that. And I also see there could be somebody that we know that has blonde hair. Maybe she likes to wear her hair curly. And I also feel like a lot of us are starting to become more aware of the universe and how it communicates with us. So we know that through songs, through angel numbers, through animals, and even through, our spirit guides, these messages come to us in many different forms. So again, dragons, bats, and hawks. Look up, Google those spirit animals and look up the meaning. So say you want to look up hawk, spirit animal meaning, dragon spirit animal meaning, and just see what you get. I'm telling you, you guys will love what you read, because it will be everything you need to hear in this moment. I'm also seeing that back to the gold, I see a bunny rabbit here. So a lot of us are realizing, if you're into truther channels such as myself, and if you've been looking into everything that's been going on in Hollywood, this is just coming through. So bear with me. I'm channeling messages, you guys. This right here is telling us to follow the white rabbit. And a lot of us are, in fact, quite literally going down the rabbit hole. A lot of us are starting to maybe get an animal. Some of us may have been thinking about getting a pet. We're going to get a pet. Some of us may be getting a bird, or something like that. But I see purity here, innocence. And a lot of us are fighting for maintaining that purity and maintaining that innocence and fighting for the greater good of all. And I do see that coming to fruition. I'm also seeing this light here. So again, all of what we're manifesting is just, you're not even going to believe what it is that you manifest when it comes to matters of the heart, romantic relationships, and even the ways that you can make money. A lot of us may be a fashion designer, make clothes. Maybe some of us have been thinking about that. Maybe somebody here does hair or has been thinking about doing hair and things of that nature. And maybe somebody is tapping into their spirituality and using that. And you guys are seeing that you're making a lot of money with that endeavor. Now, with that being said, let me lay all of this out. Yeah, see, I've been picking up on a lot of frustrations for sure, you guys. And I'm seeing a lot of us feeling as though people within our family, friends even, they haven't really been celebrating our successes. You know what I mean? Like whenever we talk about something that we love to do, or, whenever we are talking about something that we're working on or what have you, it seems that we don't really have that support from not just family for some of us, but friends as well. And I see that there's a lot of emotional blockages due to that. And I think that's where the whole Queen of Swords comes in, because we realize that we're going to explode if we continue to suppress it, and we need to speak out. And some of us may decide once and for all that we don't want a relationship. You know what I mean? Some of us may be coming out of a situation where maybe we were living with family, right? And we decided to move out and go out on our own, and we're able to carry our own. Some of us have decided, I'm going to get a divorce. I'm going to break up. Whatever it is that you're deciding to do with this energy here, a lot of us are deciding that we're better off on our own here. And especially when it concerns, establishing a firm foundation for the card of the day earlier. This situation is where we didn't really, we were basically trying to build a house on, cards. We're trying to build a house of cards rather, right? And so I see that we're also kind of identifying different things that we've been buying, different people that we've been helping that have just done nothing but bleed us dry. So whether that's emotionally bleeding us dry, financially, or what have you, we've identified that and decided to keep to ourselves and to hold on to our resources, especially at this current time. And especially when it concerns a lot of these people who haven't helped you when you needed them the most, as you have them time and time again. And I think that's where this frustration is coming in. Some of us may have felt like we should be making this amount of money at this time, or maybe we should be at this level of success, at this time. But a lot of us need to realize that there are certain things externally that may be delaying our progress, but our ships will come in. We just have to release at least 3 people here. For some of us, it could be all the way up to 8 people, because I'm seeing multiple 8s thus far, and multiple 7s as well. Because when I go back to us enjoying our own company and seeking solace and solitude, therein lies where we can finally maintain our peace, hold on to our money. We're not going out. Maybe some of us decided to cancel a trip, or maybe there's a delay in moving, so maybe you paid all the deposits and blah, 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 but there's something that's kind of slowing things down here. And it's causing a lot of stress, frustration, and even things creatively. For some of us that are artists or in the performing arts, I see that some of our creations may not have gotten the same response from people that we thought would support us the most. We didn't get the response that we thought that we would get, or feel that we deserve. And that goes into this 3 of Cups reverse. Now, especially when it concerns committed relationships and marriages, I see cheating for sure. Like I said before, somebody having their cake and eating it too. I see that somebody here has been exposed, quite literally. And you know what? I found out what the situation with George Floyd and that officer being arrested. I've also seen that although this person is in jail, what I'm seeing, and y'all can come back and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm seeing that somebody's going to try and make bail here. And that's going to exacerbate the frustrations that are already existing here. And we're going to come back to some of these cards that I'm seeing here. And you know what? I'm going to stop right there with that 6 of Wands. I knew I was going to see that again. Freaking perfect, you guys. You guys are going to love this. So when it comes to these people in this situation with this officer here, I feel like somebody's going to try and, get bailed out, or maybe there's going to be a situation where somebody's going to try to get off on a technicality. I also see a lot of us have been stressed about some of our own personal issues here. Maybe some of us may be, amplifying or magnifying certain issues within our lives, when we should just pull ourselves from our mental prison. Stop overthinking. A lot of us are overthinking about what's going on in our life, what's going on around us, current events, how we're going to do this creatively, how we're going to move forward with our business, how we're going to take care of this and that and the third. And especially with the lack of support, the lack of friends that, are reciprocating, they don't even want to reciprocate. They don't want to celebrate your wins. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody's over here drinking and partying and doing whatever, acting reckless and getting fucked up and talking a lot of shit. And I see a lot of people trying to blame, the other person without really looking within to see where they went wrong before they start pointing the finger. Because, there's more fingers pointing back at you when you're pointing at folks, right? And with the 7 of Swords right here, see how this person's sneaking off like this? I feel like somebody is dipping. We have to move like this. We have to move in silence. A lot of us have been realizing that because we have continuously moved in silence, we're able to, keep our wits about us. We're able to get hip to the game and get out of sticky situations right when we need to. And I also feel like, again, going back to that whole Decepticon energy, all the lying, the cheating, the stealing, before I even put the cards down, girl, I called that. And here we have this in the foundation with the 7 of Swords, honey. See, people think that they're getting away with all the lies that they've told. People are thinking they're getting away with cheating. People are thinking they're thinking they're going to get away with money and looting and all this other stuff, especially to the rioters out there, the looters. These people are going to get, they're going to get their justice. They're going to have to face the music here. So they may get away initially, but then something's going to happen, maybe when they're getting drunk or hanging with friends or something, maybe they get pulled over and something's going to happen. Now, I know this is a lot going on, so please bear with me, you guys, but I'm seeing a lot of number 6s. And some of you guys could be seeing 66 or just, you're seeing that number a lot. Maybe some of you are getting a little bit fearful because of that, but don't fear, because the angel number of the 6s is about changing your belief systems, changing your attitude, changing from a perception of lack and changing that into maintaining an attitude of gratitude, changing the belief systems and removing the self-limiting belief systems that have continuously held us back throughout our lives. These things are definitely coming to a head. And I feel like that's something that we need to focus on. Maybe we're dealing with other people's bad attitude, and because they don't want to hold themselves accountable, they'll never change. But then some of us are really just doing the mostiest, you know. I just feel like there's a lot that we need to focus on when it comes to our own attitudes and dealing with other people's bad attitude, right? Like we need to realize when it's time to cut and run. Some people, it's better to be silent about it. Don't tell them, oh, I'm leaving you, and just leave. Block them. Now, if this is a situation, especially if they're dangerous, you know, but this is a situation where we have to move in silence and not tell anybody about our plans so as to avoid their salty expressions when we talk about things that make us happy. And we're able to kind of remove ourselves from that mental prison. But the advice, you guys, is the Six of Swords. I ain't got no time for your crusty ass. That's what this card is, you guys. Look at her. She's moving on. She's looking forward, not looking back. Move. Some of you guys are wanting to move quite literally. Again, moving out of the country or to a different city or just somewhere just to start fresh. And it's time to move forward with that. Don't tell anybody about your plans. Continue to stay silent about, you know, what you want to do, your goals, because there seems to be a lot of unsupportive people, and that's only going to drain you and make you feel sad. It's going to block you creatively, and you don't want that. Now, this Four of Wands speaks volumes to me because not only are we manifesting abundance, but we're manifesting good fortune. So again, going back to that angel number 1, 2, 3, 4, where everything is starting to fall in place. Watch, y'all will probably start seeing 12:34 on the clock now after this video, and you'll start to see that things are starting to come to fruition with ease. I see that a lot of us will be finding either a twin flame partnership. Some of us could be, you know, presented with somebody wanting to marry us or wanting to get married. I'm also seeing that some of us may be taking the next step within a certain relationship here and moving in together. Or maybe this is just a situation where there are friends that you're planning on moving in with. Maybe you're focused on your family, your kids, and things like that. But I see a lot of good things coming to fruition. And the more we continue to stay silent about what we have planned, the easier things will go and the less blessings they'll have to block, right? So here we have the Tower reverse. So like I said before about the rioting, the looting, the destruction of property and things of that nature. You know, I really feel like a lot of people are avoiding, some businesses are avoiding the destruction and chaos, but others are getting caught right in the center. A lot of other businesses are trying to pick up the pieces from, you know, the destruction that took place within their businesses. And, you know, I do see a lot of people getting arrested eventually. I also see here that some of us are fearing change, and we're afraid. We're afraid to break out on our own because we've either grown accustomed to always being with somebody, or we're afraid to look within because we're afraid it might hurt too much, or we're even just afraid of being alone. There seems to be these fears coming up, and the changes that we know we have to make, the people that we know we have to let go of, that's scary to some of us. And some of us have been stuck in the past here. We're dealing with people that have been stuck in the past, always bringing up shit that happened, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago or whatever. And now I see going back to that Six of Swords in the advised position, and now the Eight of Wands and the outcome. Move forward. Move forward. Speak your truth. If you see the red flags, do not ignore them, and let yourself release the past once and for all. Even some of the people from your childhood, they have to go. So certain people in your family have to go because of their toxic ways, because of their toxicity. Leos especially, friendships especially as well. It's time to release. A lot of us are feeling drained, like we don't have energy. Some of us may be feeling the onset of depression. And just know that when we do finally decide to release ourselves from the past and release ourselves from people, places, and things that no longer serve our higher purpose, yeah, we may be down about it for a little while, but in the long run, that is what matters. Our happiness in the long run is what matters. A lot of people are just telling us things that they think we want to hear, and There's just a lot of lies, you guys, people trying to cause confusion. And I feel like that's starting to get cleared, but we need to release the fears because, guys, especially to those of you that are creative entrepreneurs as well, and even to people in the public eye right now, you guys, we're getting a lot of attention and we're starting to see a lot more growth, within our brand. We're seeing a lot more growth within our community. We're seeing a lot more growth within our success, and we are triumphant. We are winning the game because that blame game they try to throw our way is watered down and it just completely got obliterated, because at the end of the day, regardless of the temptation that comes our way, and regardless of the karmic relationships that we can't seem to get away from, the minute we decide to release ourselves from temptation, release ourselves from toxic habit and toxic habits and toxic people, release ourselves from greed and materialism, release ourselves from the devil himself. Release ourselves from lustful ways and being led by lust and being led by the flesh. Addiction, releasing ourselves from addiction. This is where we start to finally tap into our full potential and harness our power the right way. Now, what I'm seeing with this card, the alien, this is a card for Virgo, and the card I was holding up earlier a second ago with the devils is for Capricorn, right? So here we have some earth energy coming in. So we have Gemini, Leo, and Virgo and Capricorn thus far. And what I'm seeing is we are very magnetic right now. So we've been attracting a lot of people in a short amount of time. And I'm also seeing that some of us are kind of still healing from some, friendships that we decided to walk away from, people that only led us into, temptation, people that didn't value our worth, people that didn't treat us properly. A lot of these things we're starting to, pull back from. We're keeping to ourselves a lot more. We're definitely doing a lot more. Some of us could be learning about candle work. Guys, take your time when you're learning about these things, especially when you're looking into the craft. I see a lot of us could be, doing a lot of writing. Maybe we're reading more books. Maybe we're reading, 48 Laws of Power. Maybe we're reading about how to become a successful entrepreneur. Maybe we're learning about, business management and things of that nature. I see a lot of us that are working towards these things and building our brand and business and relishing in the attention that we are receiving, especially to those of us in the public eye, and maintaining a positive attitude, because people only want to work with people with a good attitude that are tempting us, people that just want to sleep with us with no strings attached, people that only care about your money or your things, what you have to give to them. We need to do away with that, because we'll be getting a lot of this kind of attention because we're manifesting so quickly. Right? So we definitely need to embrace this time of introspection to get some rest, you guys, and we need to stop procrastinating. And we also need to get organized and manage our time wisely, because some of us haven't been making a consistent effort. Some of us have been half-assing a lot of things. And that may be hard, a hard pill to swallow, but we haven't really been making as much of an effort on our own dreams and goals and aspirations as much as we could have been, because we've been wasting our time with people that don't want to clap when we win, because we've been dealing with family that just want to bleed us dry emotionally and financially, because we've been dealing with people that just want to do nothing but use and abuse. And so we've lost sight of what we were building for a second here. But when we turn this around, and we also turn this around, and we start getting organized, we start balancing work and play, work and home, we're balancing, the house and the kids and all of that other stuff, and we're staying focused on maintaining inner and outer balance. When we're not, spending all of our money, we're making the right decisions for what's best for us. And when we're consistent and focusing on self-mastery, and when we're showing up and committing to ourselves every single day, therein is where you will start to hit the ground running and achieve everything that you desire and more. Get balanced, get organized, and continue to build. Stay focused. Don't let anybody distract you, because it seems like a lot of people haven't been making an effort. We've been dealing with a lot of people where the relationship was in balance. So maybe we were doing all the giving, or somebody else is feeling like they were doing all the giving, and there was a lack of communication. Somebody's making problems bigger than what they need to be for somebody here. Somebody's lying, cheating, and stealing, and not really being who they say that they are, and all of these different things here. And that's what's got us all thrown out of whack. Some of us may be dealing with drugs, drinking, addictions, and all these other things that may be throwing us off course. And that's another reason why we're not staying consistent. Some of us may be dealing with, materialism and spending our money recklessly and not really, we're resting on our laurels. These are the things that we need to focus on and fix. And there's something I wanted to share with you guys, since the channeled messages collectively was forgiveness. I want to use these forgiveness cards here, and I want to read something to you guys. So the divine masculine and divine feminine counterparts exist within each and every living individual. The divine masculine, when embodied, represents the innate ability to nourish, explore, and direct through understanding the divine feminine. Now, the divine feminine, when embodied, represents the innate ability to nurture, intuit, and create through feeling. Together, the divine masculine and the divine feminine allow for the transformation of the soul into gradual and expansive wholeness. Awaken both the divine masculine and the divine feminine within you by forgiving yourself for not having tapped into their loving wisdom more rapidly and readily in the past. Choose to fully believe in the destined power and sovereignty that awaits you. You are powerful, you are whole, and you are free. Now, I want to pull a couple of these cards from this deck, right? Wasn't that beautiful? And once again, I'm sorry to those of you just joining if I'm not seeing the chat. Again, YouTube's wonky and I can't see what you're saying, unfortunately. But, go back and drop the comments when this video posts and I will respond. Now, let's see what we have. Gods and goddesses, what do we need to forgive? What is it we need to forgive ourselves for? And what can we forgive others for? Please show me. Oh, wow. So there's a lot that we need to forgive ourselves for. And there's a lot that we need to forgive others for. But we're just going to pick these two core cards that speak to me, right? And then I'm going to cut the deck here and draw from the top. I love what we're seeing so far. Wow. I'm so glad I got these cards, you guys. Okay, so we have, oh, you know what? Let me put that to the side because obviously it wants to come out. So at the bottom we have, I forgive myself for taking on others' emotional reactions as my own. I choose to believe that allowing others to take ownership of their emotional experiences empowers them to heed the loving message present within the emotion. Absolutely beautiful. I forgive myself for being afraid of what may happen should I communicate how I feel. I choose to believe that when I communicate lovingly, life hears my call and sets a plan in motion to support me in my desires. I forgive myself for thinking what I think I want is more important than what I need. I choose to believe that what I think I want is not necessarily reflective of my truest desires, and I am constantly receiving what I need in order to clarify those desires. I forgive myself for shaming myself for taking time to nourish myself. I choose to believe that periods of rest allow for a renewed perspective so that the actions I take can be more directed and effective. And finally, I forgive myself for pressuring myself to have all of the answers, even when the answers are not yet meant to be mine. I choose to believe that knowledge simply enhances intuition, and it is safe to follow my inner instinct until more is revealed. I suggest you guys rewind this when you get a chance and say these out loud for yourself so that you can feel more empowered. Learn how to take a compliment and continue to focus on manifesting your desires. Focus on the people, places, and things that fulfill you. Don't fall into the traps of temptation. Don't fall into the traps of materialism. Don't fall into the traps of greed. Don't fall into the traps of karmic relationships, and be true to yourself most of all. Love yourself enough to walk away when you know things aren't working, and love yourself enough to walk away when you first start to see the red flags. And most of all, love yourself enough to forgive yourself so that you can forgive others and set yourself free from the bondage of anger and resentment. And with that being said, I love you all. Thanks again. Leave a like. And until next time, stay blessed, not stressed. Peace and love.